Love by Annabella Lwin. Just one of the songs you'll be hearing at the Taste of Ladera this weekend. That'll be May 2nd, where she's solo. May 1st, Annabella's appearing with Dave Wakeling. She'll also be at Club Nokia on May 7th, where she'll be performing with the Music Cares MAP Foundation to honor the Betty Ford Clinic and raise awareness for women who are trying to recover from addiction. With me now is Annabella Lwin. Annabella, you have some new music coming too.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to actually put up my first solo single on the internet ever for sale at some point soon. So, yes, I do. I have a new song coming out.
Now, we're going to world premiere it here on Revenge of the 80s Radio in just a few moments. But tell us about White Smoke, Blue Smoke.
Well, it's a song I came up with when I was going through some stuff, as you tend to do in life. And I think, to be honest with you, it will speak for itself. It's kind of, it's the sort of song that maybe someone will hear once and then go, oh my God, that's really boring. Or they might hear it again, they go, And then a third time, it's what they used to call creepers back in my days, basically. They used to call these kind of songs for radio creeper songs. But I think it's appropriate for what I think it's appropriate for me right now.
Your MySpace page also has some recent music from you that people can listen to as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it's that recent, really, but it's a song I did for a label over here in the States, and I just love the name of the label, actually. But and they actually are pretty cool people. And yeah, it was a tribute to Joan Jett, and of course we had the Runaways movie come out recently, a few months ago with from Cherie Curry's book, a beautiful lady I know, and she obviously they made it into a movie. So it was kind of weird that happened, because Cleopatra had this song out for a while, but I just said, well, I'll put it on my space and let people know about it, because I know it sounds a bit strange, but I don't always advertise everything I do, because I just don't think it's the right time, or it's not necessarily the right thing. So, but you do things in the way you do them, and I guess it was the right time to put it out now when the Runaways movie came out, because I thought this will be like a tribute to them, even though I did it a while ago. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad I did it now, but it's a song I've always liked and loved very much. I saw, Joan performing it when we supported them when I was with Bow Wow many, many years ago. And she was just coming out then as Joan Jett, as a solo artist in her own right, I think it must have been after the Runaways. So it was really good to be able to sing it. And I did my version of it, which is actually, when you hear it, it's not the same as the original. It's a little bit, faster, and had a slightly different take on the lyrical connotation, which is what I tend to do a lot, which is what I love to do. So it's kind of cool. But it's a beautiful, brilliantly written song. That's a brilliantly written song, I have to say. And it's like getting to read a good book, until you actually read the lyrics. And actually singing the lyrics, for me, helps a great deal to actually go through it as a singer. I could tell immediately, wow, whoever wrote this really knew what they were doing. So, it's a pleasure, and it's on there, and apparently they're starting to sell like hotcakes. So I'm really happy to hear that.
That's always good news, Annabella.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
I liked Joan Jett when she first came out with her solo music. I remember Bad Reputation. I love rock and roll, obviously. Her cover of Crimson and Clover. My personal favorite from her was the French song. That was interesting. It was from the album called Album.
Oh, really? I don't think I've heard that one.
She basically switches back and forth, kind of. It sort of half whispers and half growls the song a little bit. Very good. It's much different from what a lot of people have heard from Joan Jett over the years.
Does she speak French in it, just out of interest?
She's the chorus is French.
Okay, wow. I haven't heard that. I don't think I've heard that one.
It's called the French song from the album. I like that.
Yeah.
I know you're doing the concerts that we just talked about before. We'll mention those one more time, but are there any other plans to do some touring or shows later on this year or next?
Yeah, there's another couple of shows I'm taking part in, also July 17th and November. Again, it will be for the same people, actually. It's like an event thing, festival show. Again, to help raise money for charities. And I hope people can bear with me because, I can't, I have to be very sort of careful where I play, at the moment, in the respect of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I guess, it's crazy because I haven't exactly got, a hit single out there that's selling trillions and billions of copies, but I'm not really interested in that. I just want to kind of help raise awareness and, make people understand that I am a singer-songwriter and producer in my own, I do my own thing. So it's not like it's just the girl from the 80s trying to recreate something that she was a part of many, God knows it must be 30 years ago now. It's really all about just, helping people understand there's been a big evolvement with me as a person, and the artist that I am today is very different from obviously when I started out when I was 14 years of age. So I hope that they don't come expecting just to hear or see this girl from a band then, because I'm not trying to be anything but myself. And I just hope they're going to have as much fun at my show as they did when they came to see me with the original bass player of the band.
Well, I think after hearing Love and Sacred Ground just a little while ago, I think people realize that Annabella today is a lot different from Annabella Lwin from 1980, 81, 82.
I've got more grey hair now.
How about the mohawk?
I've got one or two strands of grey hair. That's about it, really.
I color over mine, Annabella, so don't feel so bad.
Do you know what? I don't give a toss. Excuse my French. I don't care. It's about what what people feel. And there was a great quote, I think, from an 80-year-old woman. I found this really fantastic guidance once, and it said it's not about what you say at the end of the day when you leave this planet, when you leave this earth. It's about how you make people feel.
That's very nice.
It's true.
Nice and true.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. But I would hope some people would come with candy.
You want some, right?
Because I'm a big candy eater. I like chocolate. Yeah, I know. I've got to be careful with that. Actually, I have to be very careful with that. Yeah.
Dark chocolate's better for you. They have the antioxidants and
The
it's
cocoa,
safer.
yeah.
Yeah, there we
The
go.
cocoa.
So,
by the way, I have a note to make about the animal. They call them animal activists. I'm not an animal. I'm more an animal humanitarian. Dash just trying to do my bit.
okay.
But basically, there is something very relevant to say about the whole thing of, being a vegetarian, which is what I am. It's taken me a long time to be a vegetarian, by the way, because obviously from a very early age we believe that we are we have meat in our lives, and yet they forget where it comes from. And I hope I can say this in the right way, that it doesn't come across like I'm trying to beat people over the head with this. But a friend of mine is on a macrobiotic diet, and I only discovered through her information and her bringing awareness to me that she had to do the macrobiotic to save her life, basically, because of health reasons. And the more I got into this awareness of not eating meat, and the more I stopped doing it, and the more, when I did stop doing it, and ever since then, there's been a huge change with my digestive system, and just generally, health-wise and health issues seem to have improved. And it's also relevant to note that, when you see this footage of these animals when they are getting killed, and the ways in which they are, basically killed, which is, by the way, really bad karma on a spiritual level for human beings, to be killing so many innocent creatures at such a rate, in such an inhumane way. It's very deep. It's very deep karmically for everybody, but it's also a health thing, because when they die, it's all to do with your cell structure. And whether you believe this or not, and I hope, again, I'm not, beating everyone over the head with this, but it's just important to know that, people are, given all this medication to treat problems, but alternative therapies have the answers in natural remedies through flowers and plants. And also, it doesn't have the side effects that the the medication that, doctors give people have. Also, the second thing is, because these animals, going back to the animal thing, are killed in such a way, what we believe is that their pain and torture is wrapped up in their body, and we are ingesting their pain and torture when we eat these animals. And that's kind of, I know, a bit strange and way out there and sounds wacko, but it's actually, when you think about it, if you sit and think about the little piece of meat on your plate, that makes you a meat eater, next to your mashed potato and vegetables, actually was a cow hanging upside down, and it was alive when its throat was cut. And, it was in pain, great pain. And the fact that you're eating that and it's sitting on your plate, there must be something to be said about the cells in that meat that go into your body. Must be. And that's kind of why I stopped eating, period. I used to love turkey bacon, for example. I used to love eating chicken and roast meals. And I actually gave up all of that as well, because I just thought, why am I doing this? What is the point of eating something that's been tortured, basically, has been put through pain? And I'm a Buddhist, and imagine if that was someone you knew. That, I know it's a different way of looking at it, but it's kind of relevant too. Imagine if that were, your brother and sister hanging upside down on a meat hook and they just got their throat slit without still being alive, or a bolt put through their head when they're trying to escape this tiny little room, like these piglets do. And it just makes you really, really sit and think. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop there because I know it sounds, that doo-doo, as they say, but it's just that's kind of one of the reasons, not one of the reasons, there's several, connotations in that, but that's kind of what really affected me deeply, watching all this footage and, realizing that little packet on the freezer counter there, that sort of came from somewhere else. That didn't just end up there looking like that. It's actually a living creature like you and I, but obviously it's an animal. So it's obviously less important than us. Is that right? Is that what you're telling me? And that's kind of, something to think about, really, isn't it?
It is something to think about, Annabella, and I understand you've been very involved in animal rights issues for a while now.
I am definitely going to continue doing anything I can to help, and I hope I can, help anyone that would need help with it.
And that's very good to hear, Annabella. Once again, if people want to know more about Annabella's new music or charity efforts or anything else like that, log on to Annabella's MySpace page. That's myspace.com/official Annabella Lwin solo. Annabella, thanks for coming on with me again.
You're so welcome. It's been so nice talking to you, Chris, and I hope you get some more Earl Grey tea.
I
know
will.
What to get you for Christmas now.
Oh, well, thank you. I will have some more after this. I love my Earl Grey tea. I always have some. After the show and before the show. Keeps the throat clear.
Yes, absolutely. And hot water and honey and lemon's good too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I put lemon in regular tea sometimes, but I just love herbal tea so much that I don't get a chance to kind of mix it up a little bit. Maybe lemon herbal tea. Have
you tried green tea and blueberry, which is what they sell at Trader Joe's apparently now, which I haven't yet been to, but I'm planning on buying some. It's a new tea they do, blueberry and green tea.
Well, I've had green tea, and I've had a bowl of blueberries right next to it at the same time. I've never mixed the two.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to.
It's worth trying.
Annabella, as the show winds down, I do want to play your newest song, White Smoke, Blue Smoke. That will be available very soon on your MySpace page.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Cordani here. This is Revenge of the 80s Radio. Here it is, Annabella, the world premiere of White Smoke, Blue Smoke. Thank you, Annabella.
You should say world exclusive, actually.
All right. The world exclusive premiere of White Smoke, Blue Smoke.